In the US, Tesla now has bigger market share than Volkswagen, which is crazy. The market share for Tesla stands at 4.2, and Elon says the next milestone is 6.9%, obviously. I think Farzad has a pretty good point here. It's incredible how under the radar this is. Name me someone you know that doesn't know what a Volkswagen car is. Tesla, with 100% EVs, is now selling more cars in the US than Volkswagen. Folks still think that EVs aren't a thing and Teslas are niche, and they have no idea what's happening. That's with no marketing, and that market share number includes all vehicles in the US, including gas-powered vehicles. Individually, Tesla in the US now outsells Volkswagen, BMW, Mercedes, Subaru, Volvo, and Mazda. Soon, the list will include every single automaker. There is a debate going on X about Tesla stock. Gary went first. Interesting that Alexandra Mers and others are quietly moving toward my long-held position on FSD, just as Elon himself seems to be growing more cautious about it. Refers to it as supervised FSD. My position has always been FSD is a great technological innovation that can sell more Teslas, but should not be viewed separately to support an incremental robotaxi valuation, since it's unlikely to be approved for level 4, which means vehicles can drive themselves. Far ahead of competitor self-driving software, particularly Chinese self-driving software. My Tesla stock price target of $300 includes zero incremental value for robotaxi, ride-hailing, or Optimus. Contrast this to Morgan Stanley's Adam Jonas price target of $380, which includes just $86 for core auto, $48 for energy, $82 for ride-hailing and mobility, and $115 for FSD and Dojo network services. And here's a chart that breaks down Morgan Stanley's valuation. Alexander says, LOL, me? Quietly? That would be a first for me. Dylan has a pretty good response. Regardless of what the Chinese are doing with autonomy, they are not doing it in the United States, leaving that market open for Tesla. Not making an argument on how FSD should or should not be valued right now, but I think implying that Tesla does not have a massive lead solving for generalized autonomy is a misinformed take. Which Chinese automaker is not using LiDAR, is not geofenced? I think to completely ignore robotaxi and ride-hailing and to include zero in the valuation for that in the long term assumes that robotaxis are never happening, that no company will be able to really do it. And if that's your take, I can certainly understand that take. But I would strongly disagree with the take that says, well, other companies will solve full self-driving, but somehow Tesla, which has the most data and the best team, yeah, they're just gonna get left behind. And they will never ever make any money from robotaxis or ride-hailing. Volkswagen announced today is bringing ChatGPT into its cars and SUVs, so I guess voice commands will actually start working. Occasionally, ChatGPT can be pretty annoying because I ask it a question. For example, how do you build muscle? And it will say something like, oh, you gotta speak to your doctor. It really depends. I cannot give you anything. I cannot tell you anything. So just go speak to a doctor. Okay. ChatGPT, can you update my Volkswagen software? As a AI language model, I cannot update your car software, but I can tell you a joke if you want. I'm exaggerating a little bit here, but sometimes my experience with ChatGPT is a bit, don't tell me to talk to a professional. I know I can talk to a professional. I'm not talking to a professional because I'm talking to you, so you tell me what you know first, and then I'll talk to a professional. This morning, Tesla stock was down as much as 2.8%, and Gary says there's no clear reason why Tesla stock is weak today. China weekly insurance registrations were respectable, he says. Always low the first week of the quarter since emphasis is on exports to Europe, so that in theory should not affect anything, but you never really know with some traders being really short-term focused. But Gary says maybe investors feel other mega caps offer better upside, downside, and worried about what Elon might say on the earnings call. Still, India new factory announcement this week should be viewed positively.